Hey guys, it's me the American, and today I have the Cold Steel Heavy Terrain Chopper Kukri. To be honest, this kukri handles pretty well. For a lengthy blade, it handles very nicely. It's very easy to get used to the handling style, and it seems like it works with the leverage that your normal body possesses. Just a little bit of a background on this Cold Steel Kukri. This specific model was actually introduced back in the early 1990s, and also it was pulled in the early 1990s. This is one of the Cold Steel Kukris with the carbon 5 blade. It's a harder to find item, very uncommon nowadays, and the carbon 5 is supposed to outperform and is more advanced than the 1095 carbon used nowadays. Shaving tinder with a kukri is a little bit more difficult than a smaller knife, but it is possible. You use more of a chopping motion, and remember, safety first. Seems to work pretty efficiently in that department. Now we're going to chop through some of this 1.5 inch thick piece of fallen wood. This limb right here fell about 2 months ago, and it's still got some life in it. It's still pretty solid. It's not aged very far, so let's see how quickly this kukri can make it work. Remember guys, safety first. And there you have it. Pretty efficient because of the longer blade. Now after using this for a short amount of time, the handle right here, I can feel it on the inside. It feels like it's shifting around a little bit. Not too much concern. I mean, it is a Cold Steel product. Cold Steel stands behind their products 100%. So we'll go ahead and see if that poses any sort of threat later on in the testing. Here's another test I like to do. It's called the 2x6 test. I will be striking it with this kukri from Cold Steel, and we will see if it will withstand the blows. It might not go completely through this, but it is a test just to see if it will withstand a fresher piece of wood. Safety first. Well, so far, it has definitely impressed me. It'll make really quick work of building materials. Next, on to phase 2. This test will be the edge retention test. I will hit a part of the kukri blade. Since it's longer, I will have to judge exactly where I hit it, and then I will cut a lime rind, through and through. So that way we'll go ahead and see if it keeps the sharpness after striking a hard object. Remember, safety first. Striking right there. I'll use that part to cut through. Easy, very efficient, kept the edge, and I was really surprised to see that the cut is just completely effortless. Next is the brick test. This will test the strength of the spine of the knife. Now, it's a little controversial. A lot of knives break during this test. This is kind of like the go, no-go test of knives. But we will see how strong the back or the spine of this knife actually is. Remember, always safety first. Do not attempt this at home. Wow, very, very strong. So far it has impressed me as a quality kukri. Now the person who donated this knife, or kukri, specifically asked me not to hold back. So today, I'm going to up my test a little bit. I've got more cinder blocks here, and let's see if the cold steel kukri can eat through it without a hitch. Safety first. This cinder block is tougher than most. Cold steel, the world's strongest, sharpest knives. Now hitting all the cinder block down here, it was a little exhausting, but I'll tell you what, I have an extra test just for y'all. I'm going to take all the cinder block off, and I will put on a piece of solid concrete block up here. We'll see if it can defeat this also. Remember guys and gals, safety first, don't try this at home. Concrete block is a lot harder than cinder block, and I'll tell you what, we're almost done. And there you have it. Uh-oh. Something is going on right in here. I think something may have happened. Here I have noticed some type of defect or a problem. The grip has shifted a little bit, and up here it's actually pushing on the top of the grip. I'm not really sure if the blade is broken in here in the tang or not, but I will further evaluate it and I will let you know in the next scene if it is fit enough to continue testing. Well, after doing some testing here, my hypothesis is that the blade is not compromised, but the handle itself is somewhat compromised. The handle may have let go around this area on one of the, because there's holes drilled into the tang, and the polymer seeps through the holes to connect to the other side of the handle during the molding process. Now, that might be somewhat compromised, but I have not been able to hear steel crunching or moving or been able to pull the handle off, so we will be continuing with the final part of the test on phase 3. Alright guys, just as a little side extra video here, I got the grip and I actually cut it down the top. Now this is to see if it actually has damage over here in the tang area, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Alrighty, well, no cracks. That is very surprising. But one thing that I have noticed is that it's actually kind of bent. Right here would be bent to my left. So let's go ahead and put a little straight dowel here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Do you see that gap right there? That gap is actually the bend in the tang of the knife. Now, even though it's full tang, the force that I exerted on this was able to actually bend that. Kind of crazy. A little, I mean, it's a subtle bend. It's not too bad, and it is still usable, but it just proves on how tough these tools actually are. Alright, now into phase 3, metal versus metal. We will be testing the piercing ability of the Kukri's point versus just a standard camping propane tank. Remember, safety first. So far, it pierced very well, and it is still razor sharp. Here we have the holes that were created by the kukri tip, and here is the tip. It's still grabbing my finger, which means it still has a lot of sharpness right in that tip. I mean, it's just like a little needle, like a little razor point needle. The next test in our metal versus metal lineup will be kukri blade tip versus a standard GI 50 caliber ammunition can. Safety first. These right here on my left, these were created from the Ontario M9. That's one of my past tests. You could look it up. I will be using the tip on the right hand side of this ammo can. As you can see, this Cold Steel product is 100% American quality. The tip is still very sharp. It's grabbing onto my skin, which is a very good indication that it has kept its sharpness. Now, it has made some pretty decent sized holes. Now, the grip angle when trying to penetrate into something like this is kind of awkward. I don't really like it, so the force of the blow is kind of lessened. All right, now on to the final test. The blade can actually support all of my weight right there, as you can see, and it has now passed the Mayer Fuglycool test. Now, just a little bit of a reminder for my viewers here. I pound that knife into the tree horizontally. I don't do it vertically because vertically would be a little bit too easy. Horizontally, there's a lot of stress on that blade, and that tests the true strength of the knife in question. Well, we finally reached the end of testing, and that was the performance by the Cold Steel Heavy Terrain Chopper Kukri in Carbon 5. This item in particular was lent to me by a username called Vance. He's a really cool guy, really awesome. He loves knives, and he really wanted to see me put this thing through its paces. It has passed the Mayer's test. It's Mayer approved. Very good steel, very good knife. You know, for a long chopper, machete type of knife, it has performed very well. I'm pretty sure on limbs and trees it would do just fine. 20,000 videos of that on the internet already, so I thought try something a little bit different. Alright guys, well, that's the Mayer. Remember to leave a comment down in the comment box below. Remember to leave a like. Definitely like my videos, it really helps out. Subscribe to see more videos such as this one. And on top of that, remember, I'm the Mayer, and I test this stuff so you don't have to. Alright guys, well, that's the Mayer. Thanks for watching.